All right, let's jump right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to look closely at one of the most remarkable, yet fundamentally misunderstood creatures on the planet. We're talking about the wildebeest, the savanna's greatest nomad. Today, we're going to map out exactly how this animal is built, how it survives, and why an entire ecosystem would literally collapse without it. We've distilled all the incredible data and research about their lives right here for you, so let's get started.
Imagine being born, and boom, you're instantly put on a timer, 7. That is the exact number of minutes you have to figure out how to stand up and survive before predators strike. In the wild, there is absolutely no room for weakness, and for a newborn wildebeest, this tiny window dictates whether it lives to see its second day. So, to understand how any animal survives stakes that brutal, we have to look at how they're built.
Section 1. Anatomy of a survivor. Okay, let's dive into this build. The wildebeest doesn't exactly look like your typical graceful gazelle, right? It's a large mammal engineered for one single thing: staying alive. Their appearance is genuinely bizarre, but incredibly functional. It's almost like a hybrid mix. You've got the large prominent head of an ox with a wide mouth to chew incredibly tough plants. Then it's rocking the body of an antelope, the flowing tail of a horse, and this long black beard. Plus, both males and females sport these massive horns that curve outward and then swoop back inward. And they are huge. Adult males can weigh anywhere from 180 to 270 kilograms and stretch over 2 meters long. Add to that their olive coloring, which perfectly blends into dark grays and browns. It's essentially a brilliant built-in camouflage against the tall savanna grasses.
But a strong body isn't enough out there. You need a radar system, and theirs is totally dialed in. They rely on an incredible sensory early warning system. Their sight is intensely sharp, picking up danger from vast distances. But they pair that with acute hearing, ears constantly swiveling at attention, and an essential sense of smell that doesn't just track down water, but actually detects predators hiding in the brush. These defenses didn't just appear overnight, They've been ruthlessly shaped by thousands of years of deadly hide-and-seek with lions, cheetahs, and hyenas.
Section 2. Power of the herd.
Now, no matter how sharp your senses are, a single wildebeest is still a target. Their ultimate survival mechanism isn't inside them, it's around them. And we aren't talking about a small family group here. We are talking about hundreds of thousands of individuals moving as one. A solitary wildebeest is incredibly vulnerable, but a herd numbering in the hundreds of thousands, that is a formidable, almost impenetrable fortress. A predator might easily single out one animal, but it absolutely cannot attack thousands at once.
Within this massive fortress, there's a highly organized, unwritten defensive strategy at play. It's fascinating. The vulnerable females and the young calves, they always stay tucked away, protected right in the dead center of the mass. Meanwhile, the strong males take up positions guarding the outer edges, almost like a shield wall. Cooperation here isn't just some luxury. It is a strict condition for survival. If any single animal wanders away and leaves that collective protection, it faces almost certain death.
Section 3. Balancing the savanna. It's really easy to look at a grazing herd and just see animals mindlessly eating grass. But the wildebeest is actually the master landscaper of the entire savanna ecosystem. It works in 3 specific ways. First, their massive scale of grazing literally prevents the plains from fatal overgrowth, keeping the whole biological system in check. Second, as they move, their nutrient-rich droppings continually fertilize the soil, fueling the regrowth of those exact same plants. And third, they physically sustain the predator food chain. They're the primary food source for hyenas, lions, cheetahs, and crocodiles. The entire natural balance of the savanna is quite literally built on the backs of these relentless grazers.
Section 4. A race to live.
To sustain those massive numbers, their reproduction has to be perfectly timed. It all kicks off right after the rainy season. During May and June, males compete aggressively, using those massive curved horns in brutal matches of strength. Then, after an 8.5 months gestation period, something unbelievable happens: a synchronized mass birthing event. Almost all the females give birth within just a few overlapping days of each other. This phenomenon floods the savanna with so much new life all at once that it simply overwhelms the predators. They literally cannot consume that many calves at one time.
Let's track that newborn timeline, because life for a calf is a literal race against death. Predators are always watching. At minute 0, the calf drops in weighing a hefty 19 to 25 kilograms. By minute 7, remember that hook from the very beginning? It absolutely must be standing up. By minute 60, in less than an hour, that baby has to be running fast enough to keep up with the moving herd. Talk about hitting the ground running. There is zero time to be weak.
They'll nurse for about 6 to 8 months and take over a year just to learn the survival skills they need.
But survival is tough, and the environment dictates everything. In the unforgiving wild, constantly hounded by predators and the elements, a wildebeest can expect to live maybe 10 to 12 years. However, if you remove those brutal threats, like, say, in the safety of a nature reserve, their lifespan dramatically shoots up to 20 years or more. It really highlights the incredibly heavy toll that simply existing in the wild takes on these animals.
Section 5. The Great Migration.
When the savanna dries up and the rains stop, the herd faces the ultimate boss battle of their lives. It's an impossible choice. Stay and starve, or march directly into danger. They choose to march. They embark on an epic annual trek spanning 1,500 kilometers. It is widely considered one of the greatest animal phenomena on Earth, a massive, collective epic of survival.
But this journey is absolutely fraught with heartbreak and staggering losses. They have to cross vast plains, deep valleys, and incredibly treacherous rivers. And they aren't even alone out there. They're sharing these paths with zebras, giraffes, and gazelles. The danger is just unimaginable. Many calves lose their lives, swept away and drowning in rapid waters. Right beneath the surface, thousands of crocodiles are waiting in ambush, while lions and hyenas constantly stalk the riverbanks. It's a literal gauntlet of death. Yet the ones that survive ensure the continuation of the entire species. The circle of life carries on for another year.
And what's wild is that during this migration, the herd moves almost like a single organism, predicting danger and reading the landscape together. To quote the source material directly, it is a scene not written by a leader, but forged by the laws of nature. There's no single general leading the charge. It is the awe-inspiring dynamic of an entire species moving with a single mind, driven strictly by the instinct to survive.